I'm Nia Shanks of Lift Like a Girl, and I'm going to show you how to perform a barbell row. Now, it's incredibly helpful if you have bumper plates for this movement, because bumper plates, regardless of the weight, they're all the same diameter. And that's important because you don't want the bar super low to the ground, because you perform each rep from a dead stop, just like a conventional deadlift. So bumper plates are incredibly helpful. If you don't have bumper plates, if all you have are traditional iron plates like this, because this is a 10-pound plate and this is a 10-pound plate. This is just a bumper plate. That's why it has the much larger diameter. So if all you have are the iron plates, you need to elevate the bar, and you can do this by stacking the plates on mats or aerobic step or whatever, just until you can get this plate about to that height, which is about 8.5 inches from the floor to the bottom of the bar. So you want to elevate the plates, the iron plates, to that point. That said, you set up for a barbell row much like you would a conventional deadlift. So your feet will be pretty much that same width, which for me is generally hip width apart, is where I like my feet to be. And the bar will be over your midfoot. And then I like to grab the bar with the same width I generally use for my bench press. So a couple inches wider than shoulder width apart is what I like. And then from here, you basically get into a deadlift position. Your shoulders are just a little bit in front of the bar. The bar is pretty much directly underneath your scapula. And then you want to make sure you get your back locked into this tight, neutral, rigid position. Don't have it slumped forward. Don't just stand here relaxed. Get your back nice, tight, and rigid. And this is important because as good as the barbell row is, this is how a lot of people tend to mess it up and possibly get hurt or just don't get the most from the exercises. They're not focused on keeping their back tight and locked into place, which is critical with this movement. So from this position, back nice and tight, locked into position, you're just going to pull the barbell up to your lower stomach, and it's essentially going to travel, just like with all the other main barbell exercises, this bar is going to travel in a vertical path over the middle of the foot. So from here, back tight, hands about the same width you would use for a bench press, pull it up to your lower stomach, set it back down. Some people like to perform barbell rows without the bar touching the ground. I much rather prefer to have the bar rest on the ground between every rep, simply because it gives your lower back a break and it makes sure that you can get your back reset before every rep. Again, I just like the little extra precaution to make sure that you keep your back tight, rigid, safe. That's the benefit of setting the bar down between every rep. And I'll do a few reps so you can see how it looks. Again, notice how my back is tight. It's set into place. And the barbell is not touching my shins here, just so you know, because that would hurt like hell, just bashing into your shins all the time. So I'm just going to row the bar up to my lower stomach while keeping my back completely tight and rigid. Set it down. And this, again, you can reset your back between each rep and make sure you're tight. And another cool thing with the barbell row, if you want to give your biceps a little bit of extra work, you can simply use an underhand grip for that movement. And you would perform it much in the same way, whereas the one difference being when I do the traditional barbell row like I just demonstrated, my hands are a little wider like what I used to bench press, but with an underhand grip, I find it more comfortable to bring that grip in just a little bit more. So here's how that will look. Again, set up the same way, bar pretty much over the middle of your feet. I'm just taking a palms up grip this time, getting my back side set into place, nice, tight, and rigid, and then I'm going to pull the bar to my pretty much lower chest or upper stomach. Set it down between reps to reset. So that is how you perform a barbell bent over row. Use bumper plates if you have them. If you don't, elevate the iron plates to get that same height. Make sure your back is set in a neutral, rigid position. bar travels and a vertical bar path over the midfoot. And yeah, have fun getting strong.